In this video, I wanted to talk about how a lot of training is overcomplicated, in that there's often discussion about the best type of training method, whether one thing is better than the other, often lacking context. And most of training really is built on a foundation of a few key variables. One of the main ones is consistency. It doesn't matter what the program looks like if you're not performing it consistently enough. So you could have the perfect program, but if that program's not being performed on a consistent basis, the results in the long term aren't going to be particularly great. Whereas if you've got a pretty basic program, but you're completing that every single week without fail, you're really likely to get much better results. And I think people lose sight of this quite a lot, which is why I think when we're approaching working with athletes and even training ourselves, the first bit is developing good habits around consistent basic training, which isn't particularly fancy, but it gets the job done, and it's what most really successful programs are built upon. Week after week, month after month, year after year, really good, consistent training will generate long-term training results far better than the person who attacks training with a load of energy for 1 month and then stops altogether. The next bit then, once we've developed those habits, is then building some intensity into the program. And that's where we have to bring intent into it. So that's another variable that, again, gets kind of missed. If we believe in a program enough and therefore we bring intent into our training, it's likely we're going to get a lot of good results from that. If, on the other hand, we don't really believe in what we're doing, we're not going to bring a lot of intent to it, it's unlikely that we're going to get huge amounts of training results from it. So once we've just got into a habit of consistently turning up 3-4 times a week, maybe even twice a week, then we start to bring intent and intensity into our training to maximize what we get and generate from those times in the gym. And then finally, we can start to increase the density of training. In other words, increasing the volume, reducing rest periods, and generally really pushing forwards with the detail of the program. So the 3 steps to summarize would be consistency, intensity, and then density. So if we haven't got those foundations right, it doesn't really matter too much what the program looks like, and I think we can often lose sight of that.